on this episode of Haunted Encounters.
There was no way in hell that I was going to stay there.
Dr. George Hill Hodel, my father, killed Elizabeth Short in this residence.
An investigation of the Black Dahlia murder house.
It was kind of like 3 or 4 little taps, like little footsteps down the hallway. So I got out of bed and I kind of peeked down the hallway.
Tonight, the investigation team known as the Paranormal Syndicate, including lead investigator Daniel, case manager Jordan, technical specialist Helmy, renowned psychic Chelsea, and special canine investigator Captain will search for evidence of paranormal activity.
This could be one of our most active investigations yet.
Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a shadow. The minute I see this shadow, the captain barks.
And then an investigation of Boston's haunted underworld.
The spot where he had the initial encounter was a mass gravesite. There have been many orbs. There have been many reports of people seeing things that they couldn't explain.
I really believe something's down here. This is a haunted area.
These tunnels have to be one of the most insane places I've ever been in my life. Tonight's gonna be intense.
Holy. Did you see that?
That is freaking creepy.
Los Angeles, 1943. A beautiful young girl named Elizabeth Short moves from Massachusetts to Hollywood in search of fame and fortune. She is called the Black Dahlia because she has jet black hair and often dresses in black from head to toe. After 4 years of struggling to make it in Hollywood, Elizabeth Short is the victim of one of the nation's most gruesome murders. Her body is discovered in a vacant lot, sawed in half, and severely mutilated with surgical precision. After years of investigation and several unproven theories, the case of the Black Dahlia murder remains unsolved. But one man believes he knows definitively who killed Elizabeth Short. He even knows the exact location where the murder took place. Ex-LAPD officer Steve Hodel.
I'm retired LAPD homicide. I was 23 years with LAPD. I'm a licensed private investigator and the author of 3 books centering on the Black Dahlia investigation. Based on my now 10-year investigation, I have no doubt Dr. George Hill Hodel, my father, killed Elizabeth Short in this residence.
The gruesome events that many believe took place here have left a long trail of strange occurrences. Occurrences that some believe can be attributed to the ghost of George Hodel, the Black Dahlia killer.
My name's Shane Blanchard. My uncle currently owns the house, and he's brought me on as a site rep. One night, we had an event that I was supervising. Party ended. I had followed the last couple out to the front gate, and after I had gone around the house, I locked up all the doors, started getting into bed, and down the left corridor, I hear some kind of sound. At first, I just let it go. So I'm throwing the pillows off the bed, crawling into bed, and then I hear it again. It was kind of like 3 or 4 little taps, like little footsteps down the hallway. So I got out of bed, and I kind of peeked down the hallway. I didn't see anything. Nothing looked different, but I knew I heard something. I closed the door slowly, locked it, just took off out the garage and went to my car. There was no way in hell that I was going to stay there.
Tonight, the Paranormal Syndicate will investigate the former home of Detective Hodel in search of paranormal evidence.
Today, our team's investigating a really intriguing house in Hollywood, California. It was originally called the Sowden Home. It was built in 1926 by Frank Lloyd Wright, Jr., and is just chock full of history. Given the size of this room, this is going to be a great opportunity for us to get the captain out. Have him go through here and sweep for EMFs and identify any possible movement or shadow figures. We can work off of his reactions to really find out where we need to focus our investigation. The Souden House is not necessarily inviting. The way that it's designed, it's intimidating.
This home has a place in American history due to what many believe is the site of the actual murder of Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia.
With the dark history, coupled with everything that we know, this home could potentially be a hotbed for activity. This could be one of our most active investigations yet.
According to Detective Hodel, it is believed that his father, George Hodel, lured Elizabeth Short, an aspiring model, back to his home with promises of a photo shoot. Almost immediately, it is believed that Hodel overpowered Elizabeth. She was bound and gagged and sexually assaulted. Dr. Hodel kept his promise of a photo shoot. However, the pictures were taken while she was naked and only semi-conscious in the master bedroom.
These would be like trophy pictures, for example.
According to Detective Hodel, after the sickening photo shoot took place in the bedroom, Elizabeth was dragged into the bathroom. This is where the actual murder took place.
It started out as some sick sex fantasy. After that, he went on this egotistical power trip and just tortured the girl.
He began to strangle her. She started to resist, so he beat her head into the side of the tub, crushing her skull, and that was one of the causes that killed her.
This was where he beat her unconscious and eventually killed her.
I think this would be a good room to maybe focus some of our attention on and see if we can communicate with Elizabeth.
I agree.
Elizabeth has suffered massive brain trauma, but she is still breathing. Dr. George Hodel, on the other hand, comes alive as he ends Elizabeth's life, one incision at a time.
He took his background as a physician and he attempted to cut her face and form this into some kind of piece of twisted art. He actually carved a smile from ear to ear in her face. In his mind, he believes she actually enjoyed the torture and everything that she had to endure.
For our initial scout, I know that we really want to focus on the basement where there is reports of really heavy activity down there. And Steve Hodel actually said that he thinks his father killed several women down here in the basement.
Whoa.
Holy.
Well, that's not creepy at all, is it?
No, not at all.
Standard underground tunnel with every Los Angeles house you get.
Right. Oh my God, this place is dark. There's no windows. Anything could have happened in here and no one would have known any better. We will definitely spend some time in here and see what we can come up with. Well, I'm guessing this would be the aquarium room that we've heard so much about.
We really want to focus on the aquarium room where there's been a lot of reports of heavy activity there.
A former owner of the Soden House stated that no matter how many remodels he did to the home, it always felt off. He claims that while walking down the corridors, he'd feel a heavy presence. It was so dark that he would no longer walk down the corridors, nor would he step foot in his aquarium room.
This room's, it's too much, specifically that corner. When I'm standing in this room, I can see horrible energy. Our good doctor, this is where he stays and he keeps people out of this room.
That room did feel really heavy and really negative. I definitely want to make this room one of the focal points of our investigation.
Now that the paranormal team has identified the hotspots of the Soden House, they're ready to begin their investigation. The hotspots include the aquarium room, the master bedroom, the master bathroom, and the basement.
So now that we've seen all we needed to see, it's time to get the lights shut down and get this investigation started.
When Haunted Encounters returns, the paranormal team will turn the lights out, wrangle the captain, and initiate their night-long investigation of the Black Dahlia murder house. In 1943, Hollywood hopeful Elizabeth Short is brutally murdered. The case, known as the Black Dahlia murder, remains to this day unsolved. Retired Los Angeles detective Steve Hodel believes his own father, Dr. George Hodel, killed Elizabeth Short here in his former home. And many are convinced that his ghost still haunts the property. The Paranormal Syndicate is about to begin their investigation.
All right, guys, we have everything set up that we need. I think it'd be a really great thing to start off kind of splitting up. Send you two ladies over to the aquarium room. There's a lot of activity reported here. And then while you're doing that, Helmy and I can take the captain down to the basement where there's a good chance some other things were done down there as well.
Tonight, we're going to be able to utilize the captain, our canine investigator. He will be able to smell out anomalous electromagnetic fields, and we can watch him and his body language and his behavior to see if there's anything that we may not be able to capture with our own naked eye.
I know you got the captain behind me, so watch the pool area.
Careful, buddy.
The basement's over here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You want to take the lead, actually? Okay. It's down here. So, let the captain take us forward.
We're going to head down to the basement. There are some very interesting claims.
The basement is a known hotspot of paranormal activity. The sound of a woman's scream, phantom footsteps, and an overwhelming feeling of dread have all been documented by previous visitors.
Down this way.
Okay.
Give me a second, actually. Okay, watch her. Just have someone illuminate it. Go.
Meanwhile, Chelsea and Jordan arrive at the aquarium room, where they will attempt to contact Dr. Hodel and document any responses using their hypersensitive recording device.
Wow.
What are you getting?
That corner.
Bad?
It's not good.
Bad vibes?
It's really bad. There's a lot of feeling of doom and gloom in the right corner in the back. He protects this room. Something really, really bad happened here. It's really, really heavy. It feels like like you can't breathe.
Chelsea and I are going to do an EVP session. We use our digital voice recorder we call Pandora. It's a voice-activated recorder. There's a red light at the top that will blink. When you see that, you know you're catching a voice. If myself or somebody else is not talking and we pick up a voice, it's a dead person. All right, Dr. Hodel, we hear that you did some pretty vicious things in this house. We know that you're pretty proud of that, so you want to come over here and talk to us? We'd love to hear your voice.
Jordan and I, we are provoking him a little bit. We are really trying to push the limits and see if we can get a response, a yell, a get out, I'll kill you now, anything like that. Because her family wasn't around, did you think no one would notice if she was gone? I just saw movement over there.
What are you seeing over there?
It was like a shadow figure. It was dark.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and play this back roll.
It picked something up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hi, Dr. Hodel. I did some pretty vicious things.
We're in Dr. Hodel's old office, and he's saying, get out. We're not welcome in here.
I did some pretty vicious things.
Oh my God, he's pissed. That was definitely a yell.
All right, Dan, what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and let the captain do his thing. By that, I mean he's going to be searching out for electromagnetic fields and try and identify that. Captain, are you ready? Do a sweep. Right now, the captain is looking. He's sniffing for electromagnetic anomalies. He's been trained just like a search and rescue dog, drug or bomb sniffing dog. He will identify any electromagnetic fields. Wait a minute, what's he hitting on? Cappy, Cappy, come here. Cappy, come here.
Something just moved over there.
The Paranormal Syndicate is in Los Angeles, investigating the former home of George Hodel, a man who is believed by many to be the Black Dahlia killer. Helmy, Daniel, and K9 investigator Captain are in the basement, where it is theorized that Hodel killed and mutilated dozens of women. Much like a bomb-sniffing dog, Captain is trained to sniff out electromagnetic disturbances in the air. These disturbances are believed to be the energy from the other side.
What did you see, bud?
Is in that back corner that they were talking about earlier. Something just moved.
I didn't catch it. What did you see?
It looked like a shadow moved across the wall. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a shadow. It's frustrating to say that because our eyes play tricks on us. But what validated that, what scared me and made me jump, the minute I see this shadow, the captain barks and takes off in the corner I saw that shadow.
It's okay, Captain. It's okay. It's okay. Something startled him, and he keeps looking right here in this area. What did you see, buddy? That's exactly what we're looking for. Is he was busy. He was doing his job looking for an electromagnetic field, sniffing that out. And he actually saw something that startled him. That's the type of reaction that can tell us that we're not alone down here.
Chelsea and Jordan are on their way to the master bathroom, where Elizabeth Short was murdered. Their hope is that whatever was just stirred up in the basement will have an effect in this room, which sits directly above.
Okay, rolling on Pandora.
Hey, Doc. You followed us in here? I know what happened in this room. What would you say if I told you I could prove it?
Our main focus is Dr. Hodel. If Elizabeth wants to come through and talk, she absolutely can, but Chelsea has told me that Dr. Hodel is a really strong, dominant presence there.
Where? I just got a really, I can't even describe it. It was like something was like right behind me. It was like...
I wouldn't stand there.
And it was like it was unsafe.
It is unsafe. This is the most unsafe room.
Why am I getting creepy vibes over here?
Because this is where they tortured people.
11:58 p.m. Renowned psychic Chelsea Damali is having strong visions of various victims in pain as she and Jordan investigate the bathroom, where it is believed Dr. Hodel killed Elizabeth Short and others. 12:22 a.m. The team reconvenes in the living room to engage the next step in their investigation, a radical technique developed by Daniel that he calls a ripple in time.
We're going to go ahead and stimulate the dead by reenacting the past. A little bit of change tonight. We're in Hodel's house. He was a megalomaniac, got off knowing how powerful he was. We're going to take his proudest moment tonight when he was in the process of torturing and murdering Elizabeth Short, and we're going to change the ending a little bit. Who wants to do a little time travel?
For our investigations, we use what we call a ripple in time. It's where we reenact the past.
By going into a situation and reenacting some of the key moments, you can actually stimulate the dead into speaking to you.
While Helmy, Daniel, and Jordan suit up for their ripple in time, the team psychic Chelsea meets with Steve Hodel, who has brought an item that belonged to his father for her to do a reading on.
What did you bring?
My father's watch. They gave it to me a few years before he died. He had it for at least 50 years.
Wow.
He would request something, and I thought more than anything, this is something he wore regularly every day.
You know, he's here. I could feel he was incredibly strict and unfair. He was not loving.
He was a cold, controlling person. He was such a powerful person, and we were all in such awe of him that...
I want to tell you, there is somebody else that was involved as well that I'm picking up. Did you ever know of a Sam or a Samuel?
I don't have a lot of memories.
Well, yeah, you know, you were...
From that period, you know.
You were very young.
1:33 a.m. Chelsea tries to make sense of her vision of the name Sam or Samuel in connection with the Black Dahlia murders. The rest of the team will attempt to communicate with Dr. Hodel in the master bathroom.
I'm going to be dressed up as a Los Angeles police detective that's going to come into the Hodel house. What I'm going to find is Jordan dressed up as the Black Dahlia herself.
I'm dressed up as Dr. Hodel. We're going to reenact the torture scene. However, the murder is going to be interrupted, and his endgame is going to be thwarted.
We're going to piss him off. We're going to take his proudest moment and prevent it from ever happening. I really believe this is a place that's not only great for a ripple in time, but also for the Pandora session to see if maybe we can bring out some information that Mr. Hodel could be behind one of the worst murders in history.
Who are you? You get out of here. I'm almost done. You get out of here.
You're not going to kill her, okay? What do you think you're going to do to this girl?
Dr. Hodel, you have a second chance to do whatever you want to me in here. Whatever you did to Elizabeth, you can do to me. What do you think about that?
Okay, cut it. All right, guys, good job. Let's go ahead and play back. I think we might have got some good stuff on Pandora. Remember, Helmy, voice activated, so if it wasn't me, it wasn't you, it wasn't human.
Dr. Hodel, you have a second chance to do whatever you want to in here. Whatever you did to Elizabeth, you can do to me. What do you think about that?
As I'm playing Pandora into the camera, recording the audio for record, you know, we're hearing a lot of odd things. I really believe that I hear, I killed Elizabeth. I'm convinced that Dr. Hodel, through a ripple in time, was mad enough to come back and really take responsibility for what he took a lot of pride in.
It was a really good investigation. We got intelligent responses on a place that had previously not been investigated.
Whether it's Dr. Hodel, whether it's Elizabeth,
I do think there is something there.
This house is crazy. It's permanently haunted. There's a lot of evidence that's still here that was untouched. A lot to still be found.
Whoa.
Well, that's not creepy at all, is it?
I'm happy with how things turned out. I would love to come back here again and kind of sink my teeth into it a little bit more, because I think Dr. Hodel, he wants to speak a little bit more now that he knows that he can.
Having successfully closed their case in Los Angeles, the Paranormal Syndicate now heads to Boston, where they will venture deep underground to investigate a long-forgotten section of abandoned subway tunnels, believed to be haunted. This historic section of Boston, known as the Boston Common, is the oldest park in the nation, but many fail to realize its dark history. From the grim discovery of nearly 1,000 unmarked corpses, a violent gas explosion, public hangings, and numerous fatalities in the subway station below, the Boston Common is stained with death. So it is no surprise that this quaint section of Boston has been the source of literally hundreds of paranormal reports for over a century.
The whole Boston Common is a mass gravesite. There have been many orbs. There have been many reports of people seeing things that they couldn't explain. People have shot photos of the Central Burying Ground and have picked up an image of a female face.
And while paranormal activity is abundant in the Boston Common, many are convinced that there is a hotbed of untapped activity just waiting to be discovered beneath the ground. Tonight, the Paranormal Syndicate will be granted unprecedented access by the city to investigate the dark labyrinth of subway tunnels just below the surface of Beantown, believed to contain the thousands of restless souls of those who died here.
I really believe something's down here. Something's down here. Something's in this area. This is a haunted area.
The section that we're going to be investigating hasn't been touched since the 60s. With all of these layers of history, most of it being dark, there have been so many reports of all kinds of different things, from shadow figures to red coat apparitions in this general location.
I'm Ryan Hussey, and I'm from the Boston area. I was walking by the T station at the Boston Common, and as I'm walking by, I hear this loud scream. like almost as if someone screamed at you from inside a cave. I didn't know what it was. It was almost like I didn't know if someone was getting mugged or raped. I had no idea what was going on. So I ran right down, and when I get down to the bottom of the stairs, I realized that nobody was there. It just happened so quick. I heard the woman scream. I looked up and down, all over the place, down the tracks. I turned and I saw this like green, almost like mist, almost like a fog. You saw it, you knew it was there, but you couldn't explain how it got there.
Now we're going to get down there and check things out and see what type of access we have. We decided not to bring the captain along on this investigation due to several factors. There's a lot of different things under there that could be dangerous, from rusty nails, jagged pieces of glass, all kinds of things that could compromise his safety.
Tonight's going to be intense.
The Paranormal Syndicate has just left the grid and will now begin their descent into the forgotten underworld of Boston, which is believed to be a hotbed of undiscovered paranormal activity.
It's really intense down here. There are so many dangers that I can't even imagine what's ahead of us.
A handful of people are ever allowed into the abandoned tunnels. As the team enters the space, a feeling of foreboding grips each member.
It's as if, you're walking down there and you almost feel like you're not going to come out.
There have been many who haven't. It is believed that the paranormal reports from within this tunnel system are tied to the tragedies and death that have taken place directly in this tunnel's path.
The abandoned tunnel here at Tremont Street was built in 1894. And when they started construction in this area, they unearthed over 900 bodies.
The mass grave was undocumented. Over 900 British redcoats were left to rot. To this day, no one knows the soldiers' names, nor who put them there.
They opened the subway in September of 1897. They were stories. The stories are passed on through streetcar motor person to streetcar operator, and it's back and forth that, hey, why did your train stop? What did you see? I thought I saw a red coat. It's just, what is going on down here?
There are a number of shadow figures. These workers are scared to go into the tunnels, and it's for a reason.
Now, when these shadows follow you, and these shadows follow people that have never been down here before, something actually feels right inside of them that someone's watching them. Someone's lurking right over their shoulder, or someone is around that darkened corner, because there's a lot of dark corners down here.
As you descend deeper and deeper, it all of a sudden just grows completely silent.
And that means every step I take, I'm a step farther away from actually getting help if there's something that happens. And it scares me a lot.
In 1897, shortly after the mass grave site was discovered, the common was rocked by a deadly explosion. The team will be walking directly through the epicenter of where this explosion occurred and where the bodies were swallowed by the crater.
Now, when the gas explosion blew, it killed 6 people. It blew out storefronts. It also killed a streetcar operator up on street level. And when it killed him, it also took his 2 horses and flew them across the street, and they were killed also.
You realize that you're really down here just by yourself. It's a very eerie feeling.
We have no idea where any of these tunnels lead. We're not sure where we're at. We're scared.
It'd be foolish for us to proceed at this point. We definitely need to get our equipment and really start this investigation.
Now that the team has bypassed the final light source, they will activate their infrared equipment and continue into the depths of the abandoned tunnel, where few people have ventured over the past 60 years.
We're on the move.
I don't know about these guys, but I brought a dust mask down because this place hasn't been stirred up in over 6 years, and it's hard to tell what's in the air down here, and I'm not taking any chances.
It's so dark in here, my IR's barely picking up. Be real careful.
Guys, my flashlight, like, completely died.
You just put batteries in it
I
before you came down
literally
here.
just put 2 new fresh AA batteries in it, and it's just, like, completely dead.
That's crazy.
Like, something...
Lights, battery drainage. That's usually...
They're charging up, like, seriously, because I just put 2 fresh new batteries in, and it's just dead.
A lot of times spirits will use the raw energy from batteries to pull to manifest through EVP or manifesting themselves physically.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
What time was that explosion again?
11:46.
All right, well, listen, it's 11:35. We have time to set up. If you guys want to, I don't know, maybe see if we can trigger something with some sounds. Maybe recreate the explosion and get them to speak up.
That's a killer idea. Let's do that. Let's set it up and let's execute this right on time.
The team is going to attempt to engage the spirits by using a technique called Ripple in Time, by reenacting the sounds of the gruesome tragedy that happened here over a century ago.
For this ripple, what we want to do is stop the clock at 11:46, play the sounds of explosions and of people screaming. Really stir up that raw emotion that happened when this explosion actually went on. Then we're going to hit record on Pandora, and we're just going to let it record and see what we can get from the spirits.
We've got the FLIR gun out. It actually records in temperature. It's going to actually show us if there's an anomaly in temperature, which can indicate we're in the presence of something that's not alive.
Let me know when you're ready to go. It's not much time. Now, 11:46, that's when this explosion happened, but time literally stood still in Boston. I'm going to play some explosions, and Jordan, you're going to roll in Pandora, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's see what time it is here. All right. It is 11:46 a.m. Here we go.
Are you kidding me? Dude, it's saying it's full. I don't understand how it could have went 99 files. It's not working.
I've never seen it go down before. What's going on?
Your guess is as good as mine. I literally have no idea. Everything that we've tried down here is just not working.
So you've had a flashlight gun and Pandora goes down?
Yes.
All right, I get the sense like something around this helmet. Did you see anything on the FLIR at all? Like even when we were trying to do the Pandora session?
After you did that, every one of those caveats down there on the left, the heat register, as soon as you finished playing that, kicked up to well above average. Obviously, there's no temperature fluctuation down here. It's like a cave. We're 100 feet below the ground. It doesn't change. There's no external influence. And all of these, all of a sudden, are registering on the higher temperatures as soon as you finish playing that.
Obviously, they're making their presence felt. They didn't want us to hear that. So, time to play,
Improv.
Improv.
With Pandora malfunctioning, we had to make the best of the situation. We gear up with the FLIR gun, and we head down the tunnels a little bit more.
So you're my eyes. If something comes up in front, scream.
The further we go into the tunnel, the thicker the energy gets. It just bears down on you. Look at that. Do you see that? Get a visual on that. Do you see that stroller?
God, it's freaking creepy.
Here, can someone give me a little light? I'll try and get up there without dying.
Oh my God.
The round of these tunnels, it's not your standard pavement or railroad tracks. There's ditches. There's almost 6 inches of water just in these tunnels and live wires around me.
That is really interesting. That is an old school. Or is it a wheelchair? I can't even tell what it is. I did.
We had all just seen a shadow almost run down the other end of the tunnel.
From the grim discovery of nearly 1,000 unmarked corpses to a violent gas explosion, public hangings, and numerous fatalities in the subway station, this corner of the Boston Common has been saturated with death, and many are convinced that the abandoned tunnels that run directly below this area are teeming with spirits left over from all the tragedy. The Paranormal Syndicate continues their voyage deep beneath the streets of Boston. However, their journey has just been brought to a sudden halt. Daniel has just injured his ankle, placing the rest of their investigation in jeopardy.
Are you okay, dude? Yeah, we're gonna have to double back.
Are you okay to walk?
Yeah.
I can help you.
Daniel just twisted his ankle running after a shadow as I was approaching the stroller. I'm wondering if something's trying to keep us away from it. So, of course, I want to go back and investigate further.
Daniel.
Changing plans, brother.
You're gonna be quarantined. In here.
You're leaving me in the basement of the underground tunnel.
Yes, we are.
1 minute, I am the team's #1 priority. And now that they found a dumping ground, looks like they're going to go have an investigation, and I'm pretty much at the mercy of the tunnels.
We'll be back for you.
Now that we've got Daniel dropped off and he's relatively safe, we're going to go ahead and head back over to that rubble pile.
You guys, this place gives me the creeps so bad. It's so friggin' dark and scary.
It's up here somewhere. On the right, I believe. Give me some light. I'm gonna try and get up here.
Help me.
I'm gonna go get it.
You're going to get the stroller. What was that? What?
I don't know, I thought I saw something move.
No.
What the hell is that? Did you hear that? That was right above me. What the hell was that? I think I'm pissing something off.
I'm stuck down here with whatever's hiding in this darkness. I just feel as if I'm being studied. They've seen me, they know I can't run, they know I can't hide. They've cornered me.
I am not feeling like I'm the only thing in this room, and the worst thing is it's not an open space. I feel like one of the workers trapped.
That is freaking creepy as hell.
That is probably 100 years old. You can see when we lift this up, you can see where it's rusted out here in the hinge, the wheels and everything.
I want to know what else is getting fix it because it's weirding me out. This is from the explosion. Are you kidding me? This was a child, a little boy. This blunt to the woman that died. But what I don't understand is it feels like they were above ground. And I don't know what this is doing down here.
I might have an idea. If you look far enough up there, it's all piles of dirt and rubble. What would have happened back in the days? They would have backfilled the hole where the explosion happened, dumped everything on and paved it over. This very well could have been rubble from that day. And they closed this down. This hasn't seen the light of day since then. I'm gonna try and crawl up here a little bit with the flare. I swear I'm seeing shadows.
Get up there. Not safe and not right. What?
Holy.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Holy moly.
Did you see another shadow?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one I was looking right at it.
What?
Quit playing games. Come talk to us.
What?
I got an idea. How about you guys go get Dad, and I'll catch up with you. I'll run a Paraline session here.
I don't think you should be left here.
They've been gone for about a half hour, 45 minutes.
and I'm legitimately concerned for their safety. Chelsea comes in the door, I see Jordan, and I'm relieved to see the team. Well, where's Helmy?
My name's Helmy. I feel like you're trying to communicate with me. I just saw you run by. Would you please identify yourself so I know who I'm talking to? Did something bad happen to you down here? I just heard footsteps. What the hell was that?
I'm pretty sure it says get him. I don't get rattled easily, but I'm a little overwhelmed right now. I got to get out of here and get back to the team at this point. This is a little too much.
After a series of equipment failures and an injury that nearly sidetracked the team's entire investigation, Helmy has finally gotten the validation they had come here to get. Capturing what he believes to be the voice of a spirit trapped here from the gas explosion. The team must now end their investigation.
All right, let's go.
And make the long trek back towards the surface so that Daniel can receive medical attention for his ankle.
We had to go on the fly, and we still were able to get the results. I know that place is haunted.
I just heard footsteps.
The tunnel is almost like a death trap. It really is very, very haunted.
This blood to the woman that died. The spirits down there were really interested in us. They really wanted to communicate because they've had nobody to talk to, nobody to tell their story to.
I may have been dumped, but I was dumped in one of the most intricate underground labyrinths in America.
Were you one of the workers that died down here?
Boston's underground, the surface hasn't even been scratched yet.
There is so much more activity in these tunnels that's waiting to be discovered. So my verdict on this one is to be continued.